Today's gospel passage is taken from John chapter 3. And of course, we're reading one of the most famous verses in the English language, John 3:16, about God loving the world so much that he gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should have life. Less famous, though, are the verses that follow. There's a good reason for that, because it talks about stuff that we don't want to hear. It talks about judgment. And so verses 19 and 20 say this: "And this is judgment. The light has come into the world, and people loved darkness rather than the light, because their works were evil. For everyone who does wicked things hates the light, because their works were evil." People loved darkness rather than the light. Now, there is a knee-jerk and very comfortable way to read this passage. It's probably sadly how most people read it, which is to say, can you believe all those people out there in darkness? Boy, doesn't that just sound right. Thank God I'm in the right. Thank God I am in light. Now, how do I know I'm in light? Well, because that's where I am, and if I wasn't there, then it wouldn't be light. That kind of absurd circular reasoning we can all fall into. Confirmation bias is what the psychologists call it. But of course, if we're going to read this with some honesty, and certainly in a biblical and I would say a very orthodox way, then we have to be prepared for all of the uncomfortable things that come when we read this the right way. The light is a person, and the person is Jesus Christ. And this is the manner of Jesus Christ to always discomfort the comforted. Notice virtually every person that our Lord encounters, true, he lifts them up and he restores them. Think of the woman caught in the act of adultery in John 8. This is just a few chapters later, right? She is about to be condemned to death, and nowhere does it say she's innocent, right? But our Lord lifts her up, calls her a sister, and restores her. And yet, as their parting words, he doesn't just hug her and say, "There, now don't you feel better?" No, he says, "Go and sin no more." And this is precisely what he does to the disciples time and again. They tend to read such things that first way, right? Well, we're right. The way that we've got it is right. Aren't you going to back us up? And yet time and again are the disciples, the saints, the people who spent the most time around Christ, time and again they're getting it wrong. St. Peter, the rock on whom Christ built his church, right? He's at the transfiguration. He doesn't get it. "Lord, do you want me to build you a couple of tabernacles?" Doesn't get it. The Gospel of Mark time and again has people not getting it over and over and over again. And so if we want the light, and we as Christians should want the light, Lord, enlighten us, as one of our hymns says so beautifully, we have to be prepared for the darkness that he will shine, for the things that are brought out that we don't want to be brought out, to confront those things and to see them and behold them in a way where we're accountable for them, those things that we don't want to behold. And yet it's worth it.